Hey there, how you doing? Andy White today from recruitmentmarketinginternational.com. Also the laptop recruiter, you may know us as. So just want to cover here one of the drivers to me starting the laptop recruiter many years ago. So as the name suggests, the laptop recruiter really should be the laptop recruitment or exec search business owner, director, founder. That's who we usually work with directly, sometimes desk owners, but the laptop recruiter. So where did this come from? Well, many years ago, I worked in the corporate industry. So I worked in investment banking. I worked for Nomura, at the time the biggest Japanese investment bank in the world, Societe Generale, Casino, the Queen stockbroker, and Reuters, and a few others. Then with B Sky B. And I one day woke up and said, I'm not happy. When I was earning a fortune for someone my age, I'm not happy, and I quit. I'm a massive believer in change, not change for change's sake, but knowing what my outcome is. What is my outcome? To be happy. How do I be happy? And at the time, what I was going to do is move to Chiang Mai, which at the time was the one of the hotspots for digital entrepreneurs, and that's what I was going to do. And then, as it happened, I couldn't for some personal reasons, and I went into working with only a day a week, mind. Coaching children with behavioural problems, and then I bought a lot of property and also lost a lot of property. But in that process, my key driver was to work from my laptop. I didn't want to work for the man anymore. And I, what I'd seen in investment banking, I was inside investment banking when the internet really started. Of course, I didn't know, and we didn't know what that really meant at the time. But looking back now, I was privy to very cutting edge strategies in investment banking, also in the media space. And then when I came out of that world, I then went into applying those strategies with different companies. And I worked with automotive companies, sales companies, and also recruitment companies. And recruitment really chose me. And then as part of that process, I saw how recruitment companies operated. And it became evident that most recruitment or search business owners weren't happy. What I mean by that is they set up a business they'd been working for the man, or they'd evolved in recruitment or search with an agency. At that time, this is a long time ago. This is over a decade ago, maybe 12 years ago. And they'd evolved in recruitment, and they'd set up by themselves. They'd been working in an environment of maybe calling, networking, that type of thing, and they set up by themselves. But they knew things had changed. They knew something wasn't quite right. And in fact, a gentleman, really cool guy called Roy Ripper, said, Andy, you're the missing part from recruitment. What you do is the thing that's missing. And Roy is a very esteemed individual in the UK in terms of recruitment coaching. And he said, what you do is it's the missing link. So when I saw how maybe unhappy, stressed, frustrated recruitment and search business owners were, it became evident that lots of them wanted what I was about to do, live from my laptop, and indeed what I was doing at that time. I remember one time, this is before I'd actually nailed the whole virtual thing. I was in the Maldives with my laptop and running automation from the Maldives, and had a healthy 6-figure business working literally 15 minutes a day. The whole thing was automated, and that was coaching online with LinkedIn to recruitment business owners and search business owners a long time ago. But I saw that the mechanism of recruitment was archaic and it was dying. And of course there'd be anomalies. So if you're cold calling, you're networking, I wish you every success. The exception doesn't make the rule. So I saw firsthand that most recruitment business owners wanted to change their way of operating, hence the laptop recruiter. So working from a laptop. And it's not to discount the fact that we need people around us, but it's to demonstrate, and the name is to demonstrate that you can run a 7-figure recruitment and search business from your laptop, from your home, from Starbucks. Now, it can be, of course, when we're converting a client or speaking to a candidate, of course, you need your space. But the whole thing here around recruitment and the laptop recruiter was really operating from a place of the ability to dictate your hours, your model, your finances. There's nothing better than being in control of, if I put 10 units in, I get 100 units out. And often what happens is when we've got a team around us, so say, for example, you're a business owner and then you've got an office. I've made this mistake a couple of times. You get an office, then you get resource. And one of the things in recruitment and search is I speak to somebody and I say, what's your outcome? Well, in 12 months' time, I want to have five new recruiters or 5 account managers. No, you don't. What do you want in a year's time? What do you want in a year's time? So let's focus on the elephant in the room. I want to be taking home $1 million. I want to be taking home 500K. I want to have a business to sell in 2 years' time. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. You don't want 5 bums on seats. You think that's the mechanism to get to the outcome that you want, which is a financial outcome, but also a freedom outcome. So when we focus on the laptop recruiter mindset, what you're really doing and what I'm really doing is focusing on what your outcome is. And there are really 2 key things here. One is your financial outcome, and 2 is freedom. The freedom to work how you want to work. And I mentioned on a previous video, we've got a really cool new member, and she currently works 10 hours a week, and she wants to keep working 10 hours a week. And how are we going to do that and take a business into a sort of 3x in the next 12 months? Is it possible? I expect it. Not is it possible. I expect somebody, if you do the base elements, I expect you to double your business if you're with me. If you're under 7 figures, I expect you to double. If you just almost screw it up, but you're consistent. So we will do it. So how are we going to do it? How are we going to get this business owner to 3x a business but keep working 10 hours? So we're going to do a couple of things, but really want to break it down to 2 fundamental lessons. Number 1 is we're going to get focused with her fees. So with her fees, if we look at an industry, so say for example you're in fintech and you deal with project managers and your fee's 25K. If you deal with program managers or you deal with board level, as you got that ladder, your fee will increase. And also what will happen is if you got that ladder, and let's say you're dealing with a board level or a PMO level, or a program management level, now underneath them, they might have 5, 6, 7 teams in that software development cycle. So if you get them on board as a client or indeed a candidate and you place them, you've now got the potential that they're going to be hiring into these 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. So the way you can do this is you can either go up the ascension ladder, i.e. you go up in terms of the actual level you're dealing with, as in hierarchy, number 1, which in turn increases your fee. Or number 2, you increase the volume, you do more of what you're doing. But of course the problem there is we've now been constrained to 10 hours per week. So how do we do it? So we can either increase the systemized process. So we have a system that brings in the candidates, brings in the clients. But the reality is with this lady, there's a quicker way to do this, a quicker way. So the quicker way to do this is we focus on what the biggest payment is. So let's consider, for example, right now in the market. So you could be dealing with C-suite, you could be dealing with senior management, you could be dealing with whatever level you're at. Inside your market, there may well be a need for example, diversity. And let's say, for example, you're dealing with placing program managers. And inside this big corporate, there's a need for diverse talent. And the reality is inside the diverse industry or the diverse culture inside verticals is you might have a candidate who is ranked 50 out of 50, but they may well get the role because they're diverse. As insane as that is, because obviously you want the business owner or the line manager to have the best talent, but your focus is for you to get paid first of all. So if you can get that diverse talent, then you'll probably get that role. So how do we focus on getting your business to grow? By doing the same amount of work or less work. We focus on the biggest fee, or we focus on increased volume, or we go up the ascension ladder. So often we're known for leveraged recruitment growth, and we're known for automation and inbound. I don't mean automation like some of these cool tools like Bullhorn. I mean, my background, as you know, as mentioned, is investment banking, media, and indeed marketing. I mean, under the radar things you won't know about. That's my thing. I spend an awful amount of time testing, working with people in India, in the Philippines, all around the world on creating new strategies, one-to-many strategies. So when I talk about automation, I mean things that recruitment don't know about. So whether we apply that strategy or we apply an ascension model, so we go from associate to partner level, or we focus on increasing volume, you can grow your business in a very predictable manner from your laptop without big teams. So I've said it on previous videos and podcasts, if you do things operationally as I show you, and my strategies show you, my frameworks show you, and the paint by numbers steps show you, and as I coach you, your profit should be 80, 85% pre-tax. 85% pre-tax. So that's what you should be operating at. And how you do that is by thinking strategically with your business, being strategic. And often when we're in our business, we don't see what the opportunity is. As one of my mentors said to me, he said, Andy, you're in the bottle, you can't read the label. And I've referenced that now with some members in the last couple of weeks. So the same applies to you. So going full circle, your laptop recruiter. This isn't about working from your laptop and doing recruiting. This is about money and freedom and being strategic without all the overheads and the old model. So with that said, my alarms has gone off, which means I need to be getting food out of the oven or I'm going to get an ass whooping. So I need to go to the oven. But with that said, a video will follow with it. Follow this. Take the steps there. Speak to you soon. Take care. Whitehead here from the Laptop Recruiter, Recruitment Marketing International. So I've now been doing this, working with recruitment and search business owners, directors, leaders, partners, desk owners now for, well, over a decade. And my big thing has been one-to-many, leveraged recruitment and search growth. So rather than having a big biller mindset, it's more about how do we get from 200-300K to get to seven figures. Generally, we work with business owners and their profit ratio is around about 80 to 85%, which means if you bring in 1 million, that's 800 to 850 pre-tax is to you as the business owner. So how do we do that? Well, we do that with a leveraged model, one-to-many model. And I've now been doing this with over 1,000 recruitment and search business owners. And quite frankly, it works. We've got two guarantees around this. So what you've just listened to, or maybe you've been onto iTunes and listened to some of our 200 plus podcasts, if it resonates, and if you're savvy, if you are aware that the old model's no longer working for you, head to recruitmentmarketinginternational.com that you can see here, click on consultation, schedule a call, and there are a set of questions there. The more information you give, the better the call's going to be, quite frankly. Now, this call isn't a sales call in any way. If you ask around, Andy, tell me about your inner circle, or tell me about your done-for-you services, we'll tell you. It's in any way a sales thing. I've been this now long enough to know that I want to work with recruitment business owners, leaders, directors who are in this for the long game, like I am. And I've got three drivers, three key flags around I want to work with you and help you, or I don't. I've got some members who've been with me 6 or 7 years, which is tantamount to proof of what we do. And you can check out, again, podcasts, webinars, etc. But head here, schedule a call. We'll jump on that call. We'll have a good time. But for me, it's really to understand where you are now. You're at point A. You want to get to point B. And the elephant in the room is you're speaking to make more money. So often I'll get told, Andy, I want to change the candidate's life. I want to make an impact. You do. However, to do that consistently, you need to be making X amount of revenue and X amount of profit. So to do that, we work in a one-to-many fashion. So typically when we get a business from, say, 200-300K to $1 million, that business will have generally 3 to 4 people in it with a profit ratio, as I said, 80 to 85%. So my model of building recruitment search businesses is based on a leveraged digital strategy, which means by the time you speak to a client, the objections have been overcome. If you're speaking to a client and they say, we've got this role, and you say, Mr. Client, do you know there are 91 qualified candidates in your niche? We have 87 of them inside our CRM. We've got 4 contact details. We can get the top 5 out of 87 to you in the next 24 hours, as opposed to your competitor who's faffing around on LinkedIn, faffing around sending sporadic emails, faffing around networking, just trying to get 3 candidates. Or conversely, if you're looking to get your pipeline filled, how would it be if you know there are 97 decision makers or maybe 9,700 decision makers and you have all of those inside your CRM? You have an authority process, which means you're number 1 on iTunes. You have an automated system that gives you a 70, 80% response rate. How powerful would that be? Retained business, doubling your fees. So it might be right now you're dealing with a fee structure of, for example, where you might be dealing with, say, associates at 25K. Let's ascend the ladder and get you dealing with partners at 100K a placement. So a number of ways of growing your business. My big thing has always been around automation, inbound and leverage, but also The scorecard should be financials. What are your financials? So we're about building your financial business. So with that said, if that sounds like you, schedule a call. I'll be very direct with this. If you are archaic, if you are stuck in the past, if you are stuck in the mindset of it's all about me, I'm a big biller, and you may well be really awesome at that side of things. However, the skill you've got as a big biller can be systemized and put into a process where you can scale hugely. So I expect a business doing 2, 3, 400K to be moving past 7 figures within 12 months if you execute. It's not easy, but it's simple. We have over 200 strategies. I'm always creating new strategies, always testing new strategies. But for me, it's about a mutual fit. So this call is not a sales call. It's about a mutual fit call. So with that said, head to recruitmentmarketinginternational.com, click on consultation, fill out the details. If you schedule a call, please turn up. If you don't turn up, going to be a little bit hurt, but we're going to probably not meet again. So with that said, I wish you well, whatever you do. Stay strong. And remember, being a recruitment entrepreneur can be tough, but also can be liberating if you really, really understand the principles of leveraged growth. Take care. Speak soon.